The superintendent said those who made the decision without his knowledge could be facing disciplinary action. A spokesperson for the State Department of Education says they'll also be looking into it. In Inglewood, I'm David Goldstein, KCAL 9 News.
David, thanks. Tonight, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is in Los Angeles. She held a fundraiser today in Long Beach to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. Tomorrow, she's going to speak at UCLA and receive the UCLA Medal, which is the university's highest honor. Lena?
And Kent, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is also in Los Angeles tonight, one day after a meeting with President Obama in the White House. Netanyahu is here to promote tourism in Israel. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is live outside the Paramount Studios in Hollywood with more. Dave?
And Lena, you can see behind me Melrose Avenue, one of the major streets in this part of Hollywood, is still closed as it has been for several hours. Very tight security surrounding the Israeli Prime Minister. He arrived here to promote a film about tourism in Israel in which he was the tour guide. And when he arrived in Hollywood, he got right into the swing of things.
Is this the Oscars?
Arriving in Hollywood, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu struck a Hollywood theme about a new Israeli tourism film in which he's the star.
This is not your usual tour. And he's not your usual tour guide.
Netanyahu told a crowd of several hundred supporters on the Paramount movie lot, including talk show host Larry King and CBS CEO Les Moonves and the owner of the New England Patriots in the NFL, that the film shows a side of Israel many people have never seen.
I think it shows you sides of Israel that need to be shown to the people of the world. It's also to dispel the various calumnies about the state of Israel and to show the real face of the Jewish state.
Netanyahu certainly has some strong support in California's Jewish community.
American Jews want a spokesperson who speaks proudly for Israel, who is not apologetic, who goes on the offensive when necessary. Bibi's our man.
But the president of the Jewish Journal says the view of California Jews about Prime Minister Netanyahu is complicated.
For many years in the 80s and the 90s, he was sort of the media darling of Israel. He was usually the go-to person on television to articulate the case for Israel. But now he's been in power for many years, and there's some sort of ambivalence in terms of whether he can be the prime minister that can bring it home, that can bring peace.
Now, tomorrow, Netanyahu heads to Northern California, where he has an appearance with Governor Jerry Brown to sign an economic cooperation agreement. He'll also meet with leaders in Silicon Valley. We're live in Hollywood. Dave Bryan, KCAL 9 News.
Dave, thanks. Today, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia has no intention to fight the Ukrainian people and will only use force as a last result.